Do you know that as soon as you are aware of how you are creating the results that you currently have in your life, you can then decide that you want to do something very different and create a very different result. My name is Ruth Duran. I'm a certified life coach. I help African and Indian immigrants create the freedom that they desire in their life, the reason they immigrated to the countries that they immigrated to. Today I'm going to talk to you about being very conscious and aware of how you are thinking and feeling. And I'm going to take you through 3, 4, or maybe 5 different steps to be conscious to see what is happening. And so many of us humans are living our life very unconscious of what is creating the results that we have. We have a result in our life, and then we don't know how we are creating that result. And so we're not able to do something or create anything different. And so I take my clients through different phases of creating consciousness. So the very first part is just being aware that you are not aware. The first part of consciousness is just being unconscious. Most human beings are in this place. They don't know how they are creating the results that they have. They are just looking at their world and just observing it for what it is. They're just looking at it and just going, I don't know why I created that. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why that happened. I don't know. And so the very first phase is where so many people are. The second phase is just being conscious that we are actually creating the result that we have in our life, that we are actually the cause of what we have in our life. We are actually the one who created the dollar amount we created last month, or the fact that we even are immigrants in a different country, that we created that. So actually seeing that we created that is the second stage of consciousness. The third stage of consciousness is actually being aware of how we are feeling. This has us really going into our body and really being aware of how we are feeling and seeing the patterns of where we might be resisting, we might be avoiding, we might be there's a reaction. Something happened and I reacted. Something happened and I resisted it. Something happened and I avoided it. And really going through in our feelings. If you have been following me for a while, all our actions are because of how we feel. And so when we are aware of how we feel, we can then see what are all the actions that we're taking. I spent the weekend watching Netflix. What was I feeling? I spent the weekend building my business and working hard on my business. This is what I was feeling. I spent the weekend with my family. This is what I was feeling, or what I was hoping to feel. So when we are aware of our feelings, we can create even more consciousness. The next level of it is being aware of what we are thinking. And I want you to see, this is not just being able to just write down our thoughts. This is being able to be really aware of what we are thinking, and that all our thoughts are optional. All our thoughts are something that we have created, and they're optional. When we see and be aware of that, we're able to see that if our thoughts are optional, so are our feelings, so are our actions, and so are our results. And so being able to see, I thought this is how I felt, this is what I did, this is what I created. And so the next stage is really understanding the cause and the effect of our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, and our results. Being really aware of that, understanding that thoughts are creating all our feelings. All our feelings are creating all our actions. All our actions are creating the result in our life. And so if we do not have a result that we want, it's because of the consciousness of going, what was I thinking? What was I feeling? What was I doing? or what was I not doing? And so being able to sit with that. And my friends, this is not easy. Trust me, it's not easy. I am a coach. I've been a coach for 2 years, and I still find myself having to be coached on, because there's sometimes that things will happen and I will not see that it was my thoughts. And I also want you to see that just like me and everybody else, we think that our thinking is the truth. That how I am thinking is actually like, oh, it just happened. That I am also find myself thinking that my thoughts are who I am. I thought this, so that meant that that's who I was. And so being able to really think and believe that our thoughts are just thoughts. Our thoughts are not true. Our thoughts are not facts. Our thoughts are just thoughts. We are not our thoughts. And being really able to think and see, okay, I thought this. If I am not that thought, what do I want to think about it? Being able to be conscious and being able to go, okay, I am the watcher. I am the observer of my thoughts. My brain is thinking thoughts, and I am the observer of it. I do not like that thought, that feeling, that action, and that result. What am I going to do differently? And so many of us, we think that we are our thoughts and we are our actions and our results. And then we go to labeling ourselves. I am a procrastinator. I'm a self-sabotager. I am a overeater. I'm a overdrinker. I'm a over Netflixer. My friends, those are neutral. We just can observe it and decide. I spent 5 hours watching Netflix yesterday. Do I like my reason for watching Netflix? If yes, then nothing needs to change. If not, then what am I going to do different next time? And what am I going to make the act of watching Netflix mean? And when we are thinking that we are our thoughts, then we go, well, I must be bad for doing that. No, it's just you are observing it and seeing, did it give me the results that I want? My friends, our life is filled with thoughts, filled with emotions, filled with actions. And once we see that all our thoughts are 100% optional, that we can decide whether we like them or not, that we can decide whether we want to keep them or not, that gives us all our power. That gives us so much more courage to do something different about it. If you understand that you are not your thinking, if you understand that your thinking is causing your experience, if you understand that your thinking is creating the result that you have, you can decide, how do I want to think? And you can decide to change the way that you're thinking, so that you can create a different thought. And this is what I help all my clients do. This is what we do on a daily basis. We identify what level of consciousness are they? Where are they? Are they catching themselves after they've created a result? Are they catching themselves if they're taking an action? Are they catching themselves as they're feeling a feeling? Or are they catching themselves as they're having a thought? And this gives us so much more of flexibility and room to change thoughts that we want to change. My clients will sometimes come to me and say, I am this, but they don't realize that that is just a thought. They did an action and then they judge themselves for doing that action. And so we can decide, your thoughts are optional. You are not your thoughts. You are not your action. It's either it's giving you a result that you want or do not want. And once we create that awareness, then we can decide, what do we want to think, feel, and do differently? And really seeing like, okay, I'm feeling a negative emotion. It's because of how I'm thinking. How do I want to think? Sometimes it can even be, I'm feeling a negative emotion. How am I thinking? Is that negative emotion fueling me? Is that negative emotion helping me create the result that I want? Or do I want to change my thought about it? And so being able to create that awareness is so powerful. It is just like you realize that you are able to create whatever you want in your world. And so I use the tool that I call the model. I help my clients using the model be observers of their thoughts. I help them realize where they are in their awareness and the consciousness, and then from a place of awareness, we decide what they're going to think, feel, or do differently so that they can get the result that they want. They realize what is the option that they have and what can they change if they want to. And so, my friends, this gives us so much more freedom. Really understanding that you are the watcher. You can watch what is happening in your life and you can decide whether you want to keep it or not, and whether you want to create a different result or not. And so this is how I help my clients create the freedom that they want in their life. This is how I help them create the life that they desired when they decided to come to immigrate into the country that they wanted to immigrate to. So my friends, thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like to dive deeper into this work and decide on from a place of power to create something different, schedule a discovery call with me, and we can decide, we can evaluate where you are in the consciousness and what you can change to create the result that you want. Thank you so much and have a blessed day, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.